Where are y'all from?
2. KF2, Channel 2.
Okay.
I'm Kayla. First, just to start, what are your thoughts of receiving this honor and getting honored today?
Yeah, this is, it must be the coolest thing I've ever experienced, because I am looking around, I am just seeing the kids, I am seeing the coaches, and I'm just going, yeah, hey, boom. There's so much love, and I'm feeling it. It's just unbelievable.
When you look back on your time, all the years you spent here, what are your thoughts as you reminisce?
Again, this kind of thing is such a compilation of every single player and coach who was in this. I mean, I didn't win a game. I didn't shoot a basket. I didn't do anything, right? I only sort of didn't mess them up. Like, they were good, and they won a lot of games, and their number gets to go up in the rafters.
Coach, you were part of the group that kind of, put the Utah basketball on the map, and now this program has been taken to new heights. How good does it feel to see this program reach, heights that were back then like barriers?
Well, listen, the thing that is really cool about getting a chance to do color like I'm doing with it is get closer to Gavin and the kids, and not in a get out of our face way, in a more of a way of just this is so important to me. This is so much time. And Gavin has such a commitment to, I often say to people, listen, Gavin kind of is of my generation. He's not as old as I am, but he still coached in the earlier years. He kind of understands how to build from a Utah perspective. And I was kind of waiting for that day to happen, because I really believe in that for this university.
Fern Gardner was the one before you and took the program from the transition from the AIAW to the NCAA. Just what was it like going through those first few years of the NCAA and kind of building up with the NCAA through that process? Yeah,
it was really amazing, because, of course, building up through it also meant there were a lot of extra barriers, meaning, only the top teams got to play it. Everybody played at home. So all of the first years we ever were in the tournament was always a home game for somebody else. There wasn't regionalization, there wasn't, seeding, there wasn't so it was hard to break through. I used to tell my early kids that, it's going to be on my tombstone, I couldn't win the first round. And then they started to change their format, and all of a sudden you got 4 teams playing in a place, and you got a fair shot. You got a really honest, neutral site, and we just sort of grew from there. We really, from that point on, as the tournament got bigger, better, fairer, you saw more teams like Utah in mid-level conferences go all the way to 1 free throw from the Final Four.
Now being involved again as a color, what's your experience been like?
Yeah, I've loved being a color analyst. They made me learn on my own. I did not get a manual, and so the first games were hard. Plus, I'm sort of, that was a really nice shot. I wasn't very impressive. And I think I've improved in the same way I would have asked any of my players to improve and get better. So it's been a kind of a revival for me to get back in the game in a way I didn't think I ever would again. So quite honestly, first and foremost, knowing the Utah program like I do now is a gift. And being able to just be around the game and honestly just talk basketball. And, my opinion doesn't matter now. And I don't get in trouble for it, and I don't have to win or lose because of it. So the decisions I make on what maybe comes out of my mouth is sort of just honestly how I feel. And so it's I couldn't end up any better.
You have winningest program or winningest coach in program history. Is there a certain moment, team, game that really stands out the most to you during your career?
I have told the Elite Eight story other times, but it was a moment that is important. The moment that we had the chance to go up in the final game of the Elite Eight and go to the Final Four, we had the free throws, 5 seconds left, probably would have meant the win. And everything just went quiet for me. I sat down as the kid began to step up to the free throw line. I said to myself, we're going to the Final Four. And that moment, we ended up missing one. We played in overtime and didn't make it. That doesn't even matter that we actually, in the end, didn't win the game. That moment for me is everlasting. I believed it, I knew it, and we were right there, and it was enough.
What did the opportunity to be here and be here 27 years, to get to know all these people and so many that you're seeing here tonight, what did that opportunity to coach here for so long mean to you?
Well, that's the gift of all of it, is this 27 years and beyond, meaning, it's been 15 years since I retired. that entire time, I have a relationship with a lot of kids and a lot of coaches and a lot of people. I don't, that doesn't happen much. The coaches now that are staying around and coaching very long are still of my generation. They've been there even longer than I was. The gift is that that's not happening anymore, and I got to coach at a time when it did happen that way.
Kind of a bigger picture question for you. Seeing how big college, like women's college basketball, has grown in the last 5-10 years, is this something that you ever imagined about how big this game is growing and has gotten to be so far?
I didn't think about that possibility. You're very much ingrained in exactly what you're doing at the moment when you're coaching, and yet I went through a change. Certainly things progressed. Today's game, wow, in terms of what these kids get. Also, wow, in terms of the new model in college that is very challenging and very different and very, I think, still fluid. So I don't know where it's going to end up. I coached at the right time for me.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.